I see dead people.
2025 is off to a blazing start, and Kendrick Lamar is right in the thick of it. The past few months have been a whirlwind of one situation after another. First off, on February the 17th, Kendrick did some unreal numbers. 100 million monthly Spotify listeners. That's first rapper ever type of history. And that's wild because just a couple of weeks before that, he was lighting up the Super Bowl halftime show, and even before that, he was at the Grammys picking up trophies. But through it all, one name keeps popping up like a bad habit: Drake. Now, this isn't just some rap beef where dudes throw a couple of subs on a track and call it a day. Nah, this is a full-blown war, and it's getting nastier by the minute. We're talking diss tracks, lawsuits, personal accusations, and even arena-level flexes. It's the rap beef of the decade, maybe even the biggest ever. And Kendrick, he's been outside making statements. On February the 9th, Kendrick shut down Super Bowl LIX with a halftime show that's already been called one of the best ever. The numbers alone are insane. 133.5 million viewers tuned in, officially making it the most watched halftime show of all time, even surpassing Michael Jackson's 1993 show. And Kendrick didn't do it alone. SZA, Serena Williams, Samuel L. Jackson, and Mustard all showed up. But let's be real, everyone's been dissecting the performance not just for the music, but for the subliminals. Because, yeah, it was a celebration, but it was also a victory lap. Remember how Kendrick and Drake had been going at it since last year? Well, Kendrick made sure this beef was front and center. From lyrical jabs to the visuals, dude didn't hold back. Fans were quick to point out lines and imagery that seemed like direct shots at the Sixth God. And given how things have been going, you know that wasn't accidental. It's been a back-and-forth barrage of diss tracks, with Kendrick setting the tone last year with what fans call the most disrespectful diss in modern hip-hop. But that was just the beginning. After that, things got deeply personal. We all knew Kendrick was going to take his shots, but dang, did he really have to air it out on the biggest stage in the world? The Super Bowl halftime show ain't seen this much smoke probably since 50 Cent was hanging upside down like a bat. So Kendrick steps on stage, suited up, ready for war. He runs through some of that GNX heat, and then out walks SZA. You already know the crowd lost their minds. It wasn't just because she's one of the biggest artists out right now. Nah, this was personal. See, SZA and Kendrick go way back. But you know who else she got history with? Yeah, Drake. Drake once claimed they had something going on back in the day. And when people started doing the math, SZA had to set the record straight. She was 18, he was 23. Now, maybe that ain't as wild as some of the allegations being thrown at Drake lately, but when you put it all together, Kendrick knew what he was doing. But if that wasn't enough, he doubled down and brought out Serena frickin' Williams. Now, if you remember back in 2015, Drake was moving like a groupie at her matches, showing up courtside, cheesing like he just hit a game winner. They were rumored to be a thing, and even though Serena never really confirmed it, Drake kinda did later on, saying Too Good was about her. So yeah, Kendrick wasn't just trying to perform. He was out there assembling an Avengers team of Drake's exes just to flex on him. Petty? Maybe. Effective? Hell yeah. But let's talk about the moment that had everybody talking. Not Like Us. This track already became the unofficial anthem of the summer, the kind of diss song that transcends rap beef and just turns into a moment. From barbershops to clubs, from TikToks to tailgates, everybody and their grandma was bumping this joint. So when Kendrick teased it, saying he wanted to play his favorite song, but people like to sue, whoa, that was a direct shot at Drake and Universal Music Group. And then he actually performed it. But here's the real slick part. He left out that line, you know, the one where he outright calls Drake a pedo. Instead, he let the crowd say it for him. And they did. The thing about this beef is that Kendrick didn't just win in terms of bars, he won in moments. Every rap feud has that one moment where you just know somebody took the L. And this might be it for Drake. Like, yeah, he's still rich, still got hits, still got his fanbase. But in terms of respect, Kendrick just big dogged him on the grandest stage possible. Drake might have to hold this L, because unless he pulls off a next-level comeback, Kendrick just did him dirtier than Pusha T ever did. And that's saying something. Let's be honest, before you think Kendrick is obsessed with Drake or something, this has long been coming. Let's run it back to where all this shit began. It started simmering since Control dropped back in 2013. Now, back then it was all friendly competition, or at least that's what Kendrick said. But let's be real, when you hop on a track and start calling out damn near every rapper in the game, including Drake, that ain't just for sport. That was a shot. And even though nobody really swung back at Kendrick immediately, you could feel the tension building. For years, it was all subliminals. Drake would drop a line, Kendrick would throw a little something back. But neither one of them came out and said anything. But then came 2023, and J. Cole, the most non-threatening dude in rap beef history, accidentally lit the match. J. Cole, who, let's be honest, never wanted to be involved in any of this, dropped First Person Shooter and rapped that he, Drake and Kendrick were the big three of hip-hop. But Kendrick wasn't having it. On Like That, he made it clear there ain't no big three. It's just Big Me. J. Cole thought he had enough smoke to step in the ring, so he dropped a 7-minute drill. But just 48 hours later, he realized he messed up and publicly apologized. Drake though, Drake ain't built to apologize. He is built to be petty. So instead of squashing it, he doubled down with push-ups and tailor-made freestyle. And that's when Kendrick really got in his bag. First came Euphoria, a slow burn of a diss that was all about breaking Drake down psychologically, making him feel small. Then he hit him with 616 in LA. Drake, instead of out-rapping Kendrick, tried to take him out with pure scandal. On Family Matters, he straight up accused Kendrick of being a domestic abuser and threw in some messy allegations about Dave Free being the real father of Kendrick's son. And this ain't even the wild part. Just 20 minutes later, Kendrick responded with Meet the Grahams, where he called Drake a full-on predator. We're talking sex trafficking, secret kids, the whole 9 yards. And let's not forget Pusha T had already exposed that Drake had a hidden son back in 2018. So the idea of another one, man, people wanted to believe it. And then, on May the 4th, Not Like Us dropped. Kendrick straight up called Drake a pedophile on this track, and whether or not it was true, the damage was done. Public opinion, game over. Drake tried to clap back with The Heart Part 6. But by then, it was already looking like an L. He tried to say that Kendrick got fed false info about a second kid, but at that point, nobody gave a damn. The headlines were already written, the memes were already flying, Drake was in a battle, but Kendrick had already won the war. And then, just to put the cherry on top, Not Like Us became the biggest rap song of the year. It got Grammy nominations. Kendrick won Song of the Year, and just when you thought it was over, Kendrick performed the song at the Super Bowl. And he even took a jab at Drake while receiving his Grammy on stage. But believe it or not, once upon a time, Drake and Kendrick were homies. Back in 2011, Drake gave Kendrick a solo, interlude Buried Alive on Take Care, a move that felt like he saw the potential in this guy. He's next up. And at that time, Kendrick had nothing but love for him. Drake kept the love going, putting Kendrick on Poetic Justice from Good Kid, MAAD City, even bringing him along on the Club Paradise tour in 2012. That was a huge look. Kendrick was the rookie, Drake was the star, and they were moving like two future legends who would run the game together. Then came Control. Now, let's be clear. When Kendrick dropped that verse on Big Sean's track in 2013, he didn't just call out Drake, He called out damn near every relevant rapper. But the way he said it, the way he basically told everyone, "I'm coming for your spot," that did not sit right with Drake. Drake played it cool in public. He brushed it off, said it was just competition. But come on, we know Drake. We know he felt that. And from that point on, the energy between them was different. For the next 10 years, they traded subliminals like two exes throwing shade on Instagram. You could hear the tension in their lyrics. Every so often, Kendrick would drop a line and Drake kept taking little jabs too. But nothing direct. It was all Cold War tactics. And then 2023 happened. At the end of the day, this was one of the wildest rap feuds we've ever seen. Some people say it went too far, that it stopped being about bars and became just straight-up character assassination. But for hip-hop, this was one of the biggest moments in recent history between the two biggest rappers of all time.